check that out. Look at that. All right, cool. Drop rate's good. Running through's nice. I don't know if you guys actually like this section or not, where we're just like behind the scenes work running this stuff, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. Do 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 do. Boom. Go to the video side. Click that link. There we go. All right. Everything's up and running. Hey, Erica. Thanks for the link. Everybody's going to love that story that you sent us earlier. Oh, man. We're going to start with that one. That's going to start the night off right. Mm-hmm. Good evening, Richard. How's it going? Hey, Carol. Thank you. Love to see you from Iowa. That's awesome. I'm glad to see there's more people from all over the place coming over. Nicole, nice to see you. Yep. If anybody doesn't know, just you know, behind the scenes stuff, kind of working out things until the radio show side starts. It's about a minute, about 2 minutes, Radio show will actually start. I'm just checking things out, making sure that everything works right. Unlike the other shows being from out of town, I have to actually make sure everything works. Oh, goodness. Wendy, good to see you. All right. Donna, hi. Messing with my microphones. Got everything rolling nice. Look at that. Yeah. Everybody blame Erica for the first part of the show. Just so we know. Blame Erica. She did it. It's all Erica's fault. You got it cranked up and you can barely hear me. I don't know if that's an issue like that. I sort of talk soft in the beginning, so bear with me. Things will kind of kick over. Do. What? It's true. It's true, Erica. We're blaming you for whatever happened. Whatever happens on the first part of the show, we're blaming you. That's, you know, that's how we're going to do it. That's it. All right, let's see. So you got that cranked up all the way, huh? All right, let me see if I can notch that up just a hair for you. All right, a couple seconds, show start. Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism, soon to be Defenders Live come the new year. You guys will love that. We are on Mojo 50 Radio. That's Mojo 50 Radio. Hashtag live free. If you don't know where to find Mojo Radio, well, I don't know how you're listening to us other than through the Facebook feeds, which is a live video stream. But if you don't know, the best way to do it is to go to iHeartRadio and go to Mojo Radio Station. If you go to the Mojo Radio Station, you can listen to it there. Or if you do want to join us on the video feeds, you can find us at the YouTubes on DOAE Show. You can also go to facebook.com/DOAE Show or facebook.com /Mojo50 Radio. We're there, so you should be as well, because you should always be around. That way, you're not square. Remember, you know, if you're square, you're never around. And that is an older reference than I am and have been alive. Before we get to the first story, I want to apologize to pretty much all of our sponsors tonight, including Patriot Mobile, who is our first sponsor for the evening. You know, if you go to Patriot Mobile today, or you call them at 1-800-A-PATRIOT. That's 1-800, the letter A, Patriot, or 1-800-272-8746. Patriot Mobile is getting rid of all the standards of the old companies. They support freedom above all else. These people, Patriot Mobile provides more than just cell service. They cherish the sanctity of life. They fight daily to protect it. They make a difference and help defund Planned Parenthood. What do I mean by that? Well, every day that you pay your cell phone bill, if you don't have Planned Parenthood, or if you don't have Patriot Mobile, if you don't have Patriot Mobile, you are funding Planned Parenthood with your dollars. Some of your money, no matter which company you give it to, if it isn't Patriot Mobile, is going to fund Planned Parenthood. Now, Planned Parenthood has great prices, great service. They have a mobile offer. They can buy out your contract, $500 a line or up to $1,500 per account credits. Now, you can feel good about funding because they not only do they do that, but for every bill that you pay or every time that you pay your bill, a little bit goes to a charity of your choice to support. So go to patriotmobile.com, or like I said, go and call them at 1-800-A-PATRIOT. That's 1-800-A-PATRIOT. Let me see. Okay, so I'm completely blaming. Sorry, I'm getting picked up over here. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. On Wednesday. Okay, got it. Will do. Got you, Ron. All right, so sorry, Ron was texting me during the show, which is always fun, but that's all right. So we got, I'm blaming Erica for this. Blaming Erica for this because she sent it to us on our Twitter feeds. And if you wanted to follow us on Twitter, it's DOA Show. DOA Show is over there, and you can use the hashtag I see what you did there. And if you do, right now, the latest thing that will pop up is this story. Bodybuilder wraps his penis around a rolling pin to finish a tattoo bodysuit. See, a bodybuilder whose entire body is covered in tattoos had to wrap it up around a kitchen roller to finish the areas around Mr. Johnson, including the housing unit of the Berries. Ray, I don't want to say his last name. I can't even pronounce it. He's 61. Ray is 61. Nobody wants to see this, Ray. Why did you do this, Ray? And why is this a news story, Ray? And Erica, I blame you for all of this. Can proudly claim to have at least one tattoo in every body part after undergoing an eye-watering 4-hour inking of his front pole. He now boasts an impressive full-body suit of ink, which cost him $9,500 and required more than 240 hours of tattooing. He is from Manchester, England, and has now completed a 2-year journey to get his body covered in ink after enduring 4 hours sitting to have his twig and berries tattooed. He's a fitness fanatic. He's aging. Apparently, you know, he has a bodybuilder of somebody he's the body of somebody 20 years younger than him. That's great for him. But apparently he was tired of seeing the wrinkles and the veins and the old nastiness. There's not enough bells in the world for this story. And so he decided to cover up his aging body and his wrinkles and his nastiness of all shapes and sizes with tattoos. All right, that's enough of this. I can't do this. I can't do this story anymore. Oh, Erica is going to put the story in full-fledged on her Facebook page. It's also here if you go to the More section, the See More section. Oh, come on. The See More section in the Facebook information side. You're right. I didn't have to read this live, but it was there, and it's a good, funny story, so I had to bring it up. And it's a good way to start your day. All right, so let's get out of that frame of mind, and get to some real dicks. And by that I mean policemen, and by that I mean no, not actual dicks like that, but so everybody knows the story. I think I talked about this a little bit about the illegal from Fiji who killed a cop. Yeah, I think everybody's heard about this guy. Ranil Singh came to the U.S. From native Fiji to fulfill a lifelong dream of becoming an officer and joining a small town. Yeah, so the cop was from Fiji. Anyway, so gosh, they're so confusing about what they're doing. Yeah, so the cop was from Fiji. The illegal that killed him. Sorry, I confused it up in my head a little bit. So the cop, he's from Fiji. He came over here legally himself. He became a police officer, and he was serving his duty. Authorities said that they identified but won't yet name the person who killed the officer on Wednesday, and said that he was not captured. So he had not been captured by Wednesday or anything like that. This guy was on the run, on the lam, on the loose. Anyway, so a couple stories that pulled up from that. And it's this. First off, Chris Pratt, a man I now highly respect, he now came out in support of the police officers in California that were doing this. And let's go through this. So, Newman police officer Ranil Singh was killed in the line of duty on Wednesday night in Northern California. California police are asking people for help. A person helping is Chris Pratt, who not only tweeted the article to his 6 million followers, but it's also been very vocal about this as the days have passed. He is getting a lot of flack. I mean, he started posting about this attacker, and everybody just went all out nuts on this guy. So let's go through this. So, quote, devastating. Please share. I urge anyone with any information to come forward. Please help bring this cop killer to justice. And he produces a link. It was originally from Fox News, and it shows the person who killed the officer. It shows the face of the man. It just happened to be Latino, otherwise known as an illegal alien in California. So he does that. And here's some of the responses. From Mika Shea, quote, have you ever posted about killing citizens, about police killing citizens, particularly black ones? Also, link into Fox News, ellipses. And then she posted a picture. We vote, we matter. Is another Twitter handle. Your use of lines like, quote, police killer, in conjunction with a photo of a POC, which is a person of color, criminal, is like adding the fear of, politics. I think they mean politics, is like adding the fear politics that help excuse officers to kill unarmed POCs. No, it's like showing the proof of who did it. You freaking moron. Let me see. At Taco14545474, who uses Japanese initials and then a Japanese name and then Taco. Chris, period. Dude, period. It seems you have strayed further and further every day from the Christian hardcore Republican area. You will post about a cop killer, but I don't think I have ever seen you tweet about a dead black kid murdered by cops. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure I'll be told if I have. He ran out of numbers. Anyway, so Chris is getting some major flack, especially from leftists. He's getting trolled and attacked because he's supporting the police officers and he's telling these people what the heck is going on and why everything is happening the way it is. Yes, Ice-T did have a song called Cop Killers, and Ice-T is also turned around his life, and, you know, he's now he's like being a cop, you know. So I don't know. What I will say is that Chris Pratt, as an actor, is a great actor, and as a general person, he is a very good man from all known possibilities of people. So these people attacking him because he came out originally as a Christian and started pushing that narrative and making sure that people understood that that's what he actually stood for. Yeah. Then they attack him for this sort of thing. I'm not really buying it, man. It's not a thing that I look at and see and say, yes, that is definitely what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to do this. No, you do not look at this guy and say, we need to stop this guy from talking, and we need to go through and burn this guy out because he's protecting the police. No, he's telling you a story about something that happened, and it just so happens that it's true. It doesn't matter who it came from. It just so happened that it's true. Along with that story, here's something else that you guys may not have heard. The California sheriff who hammered the sanctuary policies of illegal immigrants after the officer's slaying. So take a listen to this. Sheriff Adam Christensen of Stanislaus County in California believes if it weren't for California's controversial sanctuary state law, then Deputy Ronil Singh, who was murdered by an illegal immigrant on Wednesday, would still be alive. You see, Singh's killer, Gustavo Perez Arriaga. It's 2 R's. Arriaga. Yeah, that's it. Arriaga. Who authorities say is an illegal immigrant and has previously been deported from the U.S., meaning he is not only illegal, he is illegal multiple times and come back. In total, 7 individuals have been arrested in the connection of the Singh slaying. What did Christensen say? According to Christensen, it was California's recent enactment of sanctuary law, which essentially prohibits local law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities that aided in Arriaga's in the brutal killing. Quote, "This is a criminal illegal alien with prior criminal activities that should have been reported to ICE. We were prohibited. Law enforcement was prohibited because of sanctuary laws. And that led to the encounter with Officer Singh," Christensen said at the press conference, according to ABC News. Quote, "Ron, an immigrant, immigrated here lawfully and legally and pursued his American dream. He achieved that goal, and then his dream was taken from him," Christensen said. Quote, "No, we shouldn't politicize, but we have to have a conversation about restrictive legislation that puts our communities at risk." The motive of the crime is not yet clear, police say. Arriaga was alone when he killed Singh. After the slaying, Arriaga reported to flee back to Mexico. So he easily went back to Mexico, where he's basically probably not going to get extradited because they don't care about that sort of thing. Quote, "In an appearance at Fox News, Christensen continued to warn about the dangers of sanctuary laws, the dangers that they introduce. Quote, "Illegal immigrants and illegal immigration doesn't serve our communities, especially criminals who victimize and exploit our communities." He said, you can't provide sanctuary for criminals. All that does is silence the voices of our victims." See, one of the funny things that I find about this is that every time that's one of these things happen, it's always the poor illegal alien, the poor immigrant, the poor immigrant, the poor immigrant, the poor immigrant. It can't always be the poor immigrant. This man, who is illegal and has been illegal multiple times on multiple counts, and has many times over gone through and decidedly committed illegal acts after coming here illegally, that man gets sanctuary. He gets sanctuary from a state and from the cities that he's in because they don't care about reality. They don't care about what's actually going to happen to us in our society if you decide that one day we're just gonna, they don't care. They have no problem dealing with any of this because you know what? As long as they don't get killed and these people vote for them, vote them back into office, they don't care. It's fine. No problems. Give them all the money and things that they want, that they desire. It's not a problem at all. And this, my friends, is one of the reasons you need to go to traguns.com. Tar River Arms, now known as traguns.com, is America's first virtual gun store. They literally have everything there, full three-dimensional images, high-def quality. You can look through, zoom in, and you can see the dust on the grip of the gun if they have been sitting out for too long. It's a full 3D interactive experience. Not only do they have that, but they have some of the best deals out there. Some of the best deals out there for anything that you need. You need a new AR. You need a new 9mm. You need anything gun-wise related. They probably have it. And they probably have it at a better price than any of your local gun dealers. Now, if you go there, it's veteran-owned. It's veteran-run. If you don't remember, he was on the show just a few weeks back. Go check it out. This man is on point. To say the least, it's great guns at great prices with great service. Not only that, but this man will, on most of his orders, he will eliminate the shipping and the brokerage fees, bar none. You just pick it up from your local dealer after it's been shipped to them, as long as you've passed your background checks. Anyway, go there today. Go there and find out what I'm talking about. traguns.com. Tell them Mojo sent you. Well, I don't know about that, Erica. I really don't know if I'm better than Matt Locke. I mean, he does have the look and the listen and, that whole thing. But I'm trying, man. I'm trying. But really, guys, when it comes to California, when it comes to these things, we've seen it time and time and time again. Every time something happens, either the media crushes it, where you don't actually see it on the media, you don't see it on the news, you don't see it on the daily things, you don't see it on all the big social medias. They crush it down, or they give it such a spin that they make you want to feel bad for the person who did the illegal action, either whether it was burglary, whether it was rape, whether it was murder, anything to do with it's an illegal alien. We've got to be nice to the illegal aliens. We got to be good to the illegal No, we've got to be good to the people who are here legally. We need to be good to those people who went through the system properly. We need to treat those people with respect by making sure that everybody that comes here the wrong way gets sent right back. And frankly, that wall gets built. Why? Why that wall gets built? Well, I don't know. Maybe because pretty much every country in the world that's ever wanted to stop people from coming into their country builds a freaking wall. It doesn't matter what country it is. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. You build a wall. Yeah, we got airplanes. Guess what? They can spot you when you come out of the airplane. You have to go through customs. It's not like you can just fly over from. You have to go through customs. They can spot you. Unless you have really good paperwork, you're not getting in from the airport. And if you're coming through the airport, that means you have enough money to be here legally. So why not just do it the right way anyway? It doesn't make sense. A wall, a fence, anything that can put you and your people in a position of safety and security, that we already have laws on the books making sure to let us know this. And you know that so I'm going to get over on all of this in the next section, because that's we've got laws on the books. We've got all of these things happening. And I mean, what's going on with these people? They're just making stupid legislation for no reason. But here is something I wanted to hit on before we get to the break, before everything comes into play. Did you guys know? Did you hear about it? Did you hear about it? Did you hear about it? It's crazy. This is from Twitter. This is their feed, right? So Twitter feed says, House Republicans quietly end investigations on the FBI and the Justice Department. Really? They end it? Not so much. You see, it isn't that they ended it, is that they concluded the current investigation. They concluded the current investigation, because what's going on and what's happening with that is that the two people that are the heads of those the heads of the committees, they're retiring at the end of the year. So what do they have to do? They have to put a curtail on it. They have to say, well, we have to finish this. And yes, it can be continued, but we have to finish what we finished so that people know that we didn't just leave things on the hook. We have to go through the entire process, and we have to say, as a group, that we finished most of the investigation. Here's what we came up with. And so they're filing their last minute stuff, and they're saying, you know, here's what we found. Here's what's going on. We're going to release a whole bunch of documents before we leave. But before they end it, they have a little piece that says, you can still investigate if push comes to shove, though. We'll be right back right after this commercial break. Oh, no, Wendy. No. Okay. While the commercial break is going, no. Stephen for president is not a good idea. Stephen for, even Treasury, or Stephen for, local dog catcher, never a good idea. Stephen in government is not a good idea. I'll stay out of it, and I'll be over here and I'll be the commentator. Because no, I don't want to get involved in that, because there's a lot of corruption that I don't want to infest into my life. I don't want to infest my life with that sort of scum and villainy and nastiness. But that's okay. I want a freaking electric Jurassic Park fence. Oh, that would be really good. Ooh, I really like that. That'd be nice. I would like that'd be good. That'd be good. Yes. Yes, I will always use the legal verbage there, Nicole. I will not use the precious migrants and all that. No. Illegal aliens are what they are, and that's just what it is. We do need common sense, Wendy, but you're not going to get common sense out of government. The entire point of government is to not be common sensed anymore. The entire point of government is to be in basically deadlock at all points in time, so that things don't get pushed unless it's terribly, terribly necessary. But that's just kind of what it is. All right. About to come back into the show here. Hold on. And we're back. You're listening to the Defenders of American Exceptionalism. Erica. Oh my gosh. Okay. We had a conversation while we were on commercial break, and that one of our commenters, Wendy, she said, Stephen for president. I said, no, never gonna happen. And Erica's over here. Imagine Stephen having to deal with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. More than likely, just like Ben Shapiro, she would accuse me of catcalling and sexual harassment for telling her to debate me. Of course, I know she's a master debater, so that's beside the point. Jules, side note, does anybody know from Jeffy? Yes, Jeffy is in the hospital. Latest update, he was in the hospital. He is doing better. He is not dead. So that is the best news that we have. Hopefully, he will get back out of the hospital very, very soon. Anyway, so back to the litany of useless things that are happening, and by useless I mean, here's the headline: Democrats craft legislation forcing a halt on border wall construction until Mexico pays for it. So we all know this is never going to happen. So the Democrats are, quote, trolling Trump. If you were to create a tier system of insane Democrats, and Democrat Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas would be pretty much on the top of the list. This is from Brandon Morris, by the way. So Lee introduced the Protect American Taxpayers and Secure Border Act into the House on December 19th, which prohibits taxpayer funds from being used to build the wall between Mexico and the United States, which, by the way, that law in itself is illegal because it stands in the face of previous laws that go back all the way to Cigar Clinton. So Cigar Clinton, they enacted policies during that time that they were supposed to be building fences and building walls and all of that jazz and putting money toward that. So this law would, in fact, counteract that law, which means that it's probably null and void, considering this law, the current law that's in place, is already in place, and the law that she's trying to propose is really just humbug because it won't actually get a single Republican vote, which means it'll never get passed, even anything going on. So it won't get past the House. It won't get past the Senate. So there's no real reason to do it. It's just a snuff. It is a spit in the eye of the current dealings with what's going on. Along with that, Trump has said that he's going to close the border down completely. Trump is using his Trump card and saying that he's going to close the border completely, saying, you know what? Screw you all if you don't pass the budget before the end of the year. The wall, the entire border is going to be closed. Nobody will get through legally or illegally, which honestly, I don't really agree with, mainly because I want as many legal immigrants coming to this country that want to be here, that want to make a better life, that want to present a life to their families and their kin, to make sure that they understand freedom. And because if you know anything about legal aliens know more about the foundation of our country because they have to take a test than 95% of the legal residents born in America. So I want as many legal aliens, legal immigrants, as possible. So closing a border really isn't that great of an idea. I get it. It's like the dead man switch. You just, okay, you're going to kill me. I'm just going to stop it all. Everything's going to go away. You're not going to get any of your new stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Boo. No more. But you know what? It'd be easier is actually shutting down the government properly. They're pushing this continuing resolution, and they're saying, we're going to do this or we're not going to do that. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Dad. We're going to do this. We're going to say this. We're going to close all the non-essentials are going to get closed. You know what? Why don't we actually stop the federal government from doing business? Instead of doing a continuing resolution for the small stuff that we don't have money for anyway, for all of the non-essential folks, if Trump really wanted to pull a plug, the biggest thing that he could say is, you know what? Nope. Executive offices, nope. No administrative anything. Nobody. We're not going to work because we can't pass a budget, and since it is illegal for the Congress to not be able to pass a budget, we are just not going to run the government until they can, which means they would get no pay while they worked on it until they passed an actual budget, because they're supposed to pass a budget, not a continuing resolution. We're supposed to have a legal budget, not a continuing resolution at all, nowhere through it. And if you got budgets and you have things that you want to do, one of the biggest things that you should do is you should take a little bit out of that budget and go to charity magnets. CharityMagnets.com. Reason why I say that, CharityMagnets.com, they design and produce beautiful, high-quality products for law enforcement supporters and enthusiasts. Their communities include law enforcement professionals and their families, first responders, corrections officers, members of the military, private citizens dedicated to honor, integrity, and they help others in a time of need. If you have a little bit of extra time and you want to give back to a place, you know what? Why not get yourself something as well? Go to charitymagnets.com. Go to charitymagnets.com. Use the promo code MOJO. Get $5 off your first purchase there. And a small portion of the proceeds that they make go to Cops for Kids with Cancer. They've donated more than $2.5 million to cancer research through Cops with Kids with Cancer. That's charitymagnets.com. Use the promo code MOJO and get $5 off on the purchase. So speaking of walls, and walls never work, right? Walls don't work at all, except for in Crimea, because Russia just built a 37-mile wall around the annexed Crimea. Why? Why? Because they, quote, wanted to protect the local population from the crazy antics of the current Ukrainian government. I mean, how do you say build a wall in Russian, really? Oh. Russia's built a 37-mile fence. It's a fence, not a wall, but I mean, it's a pretty good fence. It's the same sort of fence that you would get right outside of a pretty good quality prison. Between Ukraine and Crimea, the territory of Russia annexed in 2014. You know that place where Russia just walked in and said, this is ours now, and our government did absolutely nothing, and NATO and the UN did absolutely nothing to stop them? Yeah, that place, because they just wanted that power and they wanted Crimea. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. I mean, Crimea River, I know, right? Oh. Ukraine authorities are calling the move, quote, mere propaganda. So it's mere propaganda to build a 37-mile wall, a 37-mile fence around an area that you stole from another country to make sure that that country doesn't take it back. But it's a bad idea for America to build a wall on our southern border because we are concerned about illegal aliens and other not so great things like, I don't know, suicide bombers and people that want to kill us coming across the border. So who's crazy? I don't know. More than 10,000 people have been killed in the conflict between Moscow-backed separatists and the Ukraine since it touched off in 2014, according to the United Nations. The European Union has condemned the annexation as a violation of international law, and yet they still do absolutely nothing because Russia is on the committee for violations and things like that. They're basically, Russia is on the committee to police themselves. Yeah, I agree, Melissa. I agree. It's now you need some alcohol. Not saying what's in my cup. Take a sip. Take your life. That's all I gotta say. Anyway. Yeah, there's also a lot of human trafficking across our border, and that's one of the most terrible things that you can think of. Oh, yeah. Good times. So. Yes. Oh, and just another thing. So Trump has decided that he is going to, he's issued an executive order to freeze all federal workers' pay in 2019. You see, President Donald Trump issued an executive order on Friday freezing federal workers' pay for 2019 following through on a proposal he announced earlier in the year. The move, which nixes the 2.1% increase across the board, it's not actually he's not stopping their pay. He's stopping a pay increase. Okay, basically he's just saying you're not getting a bump this next year. You're still getting paid, and you're still getting paid exorbitant amounts, but you're not getting a bump next year. So don't count on that 2.1, 2.6. What this move does not affect, the 2.6 increase for U.S. troops next year, so that's good. If you're still in the military, you're still going to get that money. But basically, anybody who just works straight for the government is not getting a pay increase in 2019, which is actually probably a good thing because they don't produce anything, and they just suck our money dry for the most part, and there's a whole mess of bureaucracy. I really wish that he would just say, we're going to cut half of all federal budgets. You have to get rid of half of your employees, half of your staff, and we're going to just wipe away all of these businesses and everything else all of these executive branch administrative policies and things. We're going to get rid of all of these things because they mean nothing, and they're just counterintuitive to the entire workings of our government. Those need to go away. If he would do that, I wouldn't really care as much about the wall because at least then we'd be able to get the budget straight. Which, by the way, if you are a Trumper, if you do support Donald Trump and you say for a fact, Trump is your thing, Trump is your man, if he does not build that wall, or if the economy actually tanks, are you still going to support him for the next election? That is something you need to think about. These are two things that he ran on that were his big, major priorities. He ran on the economy, and he ran on building that wall. He also kind of threw in there that he was going to make sure that Mexico paid for it. He's trying to make a workaround and politically saying that he's going to say, with the New Deal, blah, 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 blah. I gotcha. But that's not them actually paying for it. That's just you getting your political points in. It's not really there. It's not the same thing. That is not how this works. They don't pay for it by not paying for it and then you saying, well, they paid for it because, we got this back on the trade deficit, which doesn't matter, doesn't count. There's no such thing as a good or bad trade deficit. If we have a trade deficit with somebody, that means we've paid a bunch of money, they've given us a bunch of stuff. And that's okay. That's a good thing. So, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, this is my one issue with you that I have to say. Stop the freaking trade war. Either get done with the tariffs and finally renegotiate these deals and say, okay, now everything is going to be cut, nail dry, no tariffs on anybody, everything's going to be straight and narrow, or get rid of the tariffs anyway, because if you don't, it will destroy the economy that you thought that you brought out of the recession. Just saying. Just saying. So, all right, before we get to the horrible story of the day, I know I've given you a bunch of horrible stories, but until to hold you over on that, I'm going to get to one last story from Mizzou, or Missouri University. But before that, you need to go and check out rightongame.com. Why do you need to go there? Because mocking the left, it just feels so right. You see, let's face it. I mean, liberals, they're offended by everything. They have zero sense of humor. By making fun of them, it's hilarious to the rest of us. And that's really true. That's libertarians and right-leaning conservatives combined. So play the right on game, okay? Mock progressives, I mean, they have tons of multiple categories, you know, such as race hustle, wussification of America, earth snobs, Islam abomination, Hollywood hypocrisy, campus coddling. On to our next story. Feminism folly, rainbow games, millennial entitlement, and so much more. Trigger warning, microaggressions are contained in the box. So if you're a millennial snowflake, you need to just go retreat to your safe space, okay? Rightongame.com, use the promo code MOJO50. Mojo50, get 10% get a 10% discount on that. That's rightongame.com. Use the promo code Mojo, get 10% off. Oh, and don't forget, if you between now and January 2nd, if you do get the game in time, make a video of you playing it with your best liberal friends or family members. Upload it to the Facebook page for Right On Game, and they will judge. Whoever wins has the best video. They'll get an Amazon Echo Show. That's valued at $130, plus a $25 Amazon gift card. That's between now and January 2nd. Get out there, get the game, rightongame.com, because it just feels so right. Mizzou! Old Mizzou! According to the College Fix, a dance student asked out his student instructor, and as a result made her feel at risk of sexual harassment or assault, strictly due to the fact that the male student who was asking her was fit. He fit the biological pattern of a larger male, so he was larger in size than her because he was a guy. In a motion for summary judgment filled on Christmas Eve, Jeremy Rawls shared excerpts from a deposition with Mizzou officials from his federal lawsuit against the public university. They suggest that male students should avoid asking out female students at all, particularly when the male is physically larger than the female. See, Judge Brian Wimes greenlit the doctoral students' lawsuit in this summer, saying that there was no evidence that Rawls had done anything more than make his dance fitness instructor student uncomfortable by asking her out. Breu, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's French. Did not give Rawls a firm no the first time, however. She only told him to stop making romantic advances after subsequent requests, but encouraged him to keep taking class at the recreational center. While he kept taking her class, Mizzou accused Rawls of sexually harassing other female rec center employees. So basically, by the fact that he was a boy or a male that was larger in body size, and he was taking dance classes and asking girls out. It is now a crime. It is now a crime on campus that to ask a person out, if you are anywhere slightly larger than them in build or body or more masculine in any way, it is now a sexual assault to talk to a woman. Wouldn't have been a problem in my case, as I am 5'8", And at the time of I would have gone to college, I only weighed about 153 pounds. But then again, I was also married at that time already, so I didn't care. It didn't matter to me because, my wife, who is smaller than me, liked the fact that I was slightly taller than her. And that was good. That was good times. It's just a thing. Exactly. That's what I said. I wouldn't have a problem because I'm short. See, Erica, you knew where I was going with this. Erica knew exactly where I was going with this. It's not a problem because I'm short in stature. But Dylan would have had a problem. All the Mojo guys would have had a problem other than myself. I mean, even Brandon would have had a problem with it because he is a very masculine-looking man, boy, child, 34 years of age, has a full-grown brawny beard, and always wears flannel. But that's beside the point. So that brings us to the story of the title. In a TED Talk, quote, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation. Quote, anyone could be born that way. A German medical student sparked online backlash after she was filmed telling an audience that pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation just like heterosexuality. Or in other words, just like being straight or like being gay. You're born with it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's pedophile. Sorry. Had to go there. Mirjam Hein gave a lecture in defense of pedophiles during an independently organized TED Talk in the University of Würzburg in Germany in May. See, the title given to Hein's talk was Why Our Perception of Pedophilia Has to Change. Introducing her theme with her story of Jonas, a 19-year-old pedophile who studies law and plays soccer, she asks her listeners to put aside their revulsion for pedophiles. Anybody could be born a pedophile, she quotes her. According to the medical student, pedophilia is just another unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality, end quote. Hein asked her audience to differentiate between sexual attraction to children, which she believes should be accepted and tolerated as involuntary feelings, and child sex abuse, which she underscores was always wrong. Quote, the difference between pedophilia and sexual orientation is that living out the sexual orientation will end in disaster, she says. You mean like when everybody said that being gay and living out your sexual attraction to the same gender will end in disaster? I remember those talks. I remember those conversations being had. I was a kid at the time. It ended in disaster, guys. Accepting it as a good thing. I mean, you have to now, because you can't say, it's a sin. Plain and simple, it's a sin. It's a sinful thought. It's a sinful action. To lust after another person is a sin if they are not your spouse of the opposite gender. Of the opposite sex, because gender is a construct, by the way. Gender is not even a thing. Gender is something that a psychiatrist came up with 30 plus years ago to start explaining alternate understandings of sexuality. It's not real. It's a state of mind, which means that it's in your head at the entire time. Meanwhile, Hein made a surprising assertion that, quote, scientific studies have shown that only 20 to 30% of all children molesters are, quote, pedophiles. Quote, the vast majority of perpetrators are not pedophiles, but are sexually interested in adults. Well, then why would they have sex with children? She states, her example was a man who sexually abuses her stepdaughter because he's angry at her or jealous of her mother. No, He abuses her because she is youthful and he finds that attractive, even though she's much too young for him. At times, Hines' ideas were confused. She said heterosexuality and pedophilia were both orientations, saying that pedophilia can be heterosexual, homosexual, and bisexual. Wait, how can pedophilia be its own orientation, but also be a combination of those other things? You either have this, which means you're attracted to children, or you're saying, oh, never mind. She intimated that a non-pedophile could sexually abuse a child. Well, duh. Yes, of course they can. But then you call them a pedophile because they've sexually abused a child. But also included within her definition of pedophiles, people attracted to a lesser extent to adults. No, people that are attracted less to adults than they are to anybody. Usually, they consider themselves, non-binary. They say that we're not really attracted to anything. And although she seems to think people are, quote, born pedophiles, she said pedophilia has biological, social, and psychological factors. That means it's not just born with it. That means if it's quote biological, which means there's something in your body, in your genetics that makes you desire that sort of thing, mixed with social interaction, that means the people that are surrounding you, the people that you learn from, the people that you're taught with, mixed with psychological factors, that means you are crazy. So you have to have all three. Some sort of trait that brings you to the point of, well, that little kid looks nice, to, well, these people say it's okay, to, I'm crazy enough to do this. Which means by accepting it, we as a society would be basically making it happen. We would be making more pedophiles by accepting it. For Hine, pedophilia is not something that someone actually does, but something that someone would like to do. It's called lust. It's a physical attraction. Yes, it's not only the physical action that occurs, but it is something that you feel, which is why you should be thinking. Frankly, folks, I don't know where these people get this, but to understand these people, you have to actually be in the wrong sense of mind. You have to be in a framework of mind that doesn't include logic. And I can't tell you how you get there because I'm not there. Anyway, thank you, folks, for another awesome evening. Remember, January 7th, the show will be daily, Monday through Friday, this time. Same bat time, same bat channel, just Monday through Friday, no more Saturdays. But we will be here, and we will be ready to go. We'll catch you the next time. Go check out our website, doaeshow.com. Go find us on Mojo50. That's mojo50radio.com, mojo50.com. Find us there. We'll check to you next time. Bye-bye, folks.